a game they had to have on their home floor, forcing a Game 6 in Indiana over the weekend. And the tone setter, according to Tim Legler, that man right there in the first quarter, getting buckets for his guys, throwing it up top, Mitchell Robinson. A splash play that lets the Garden feel itself a little bit. Had to be on edge, had to be nervous, but their superstar, calm down, everybody, I got this. He hits 1-3. Next Knicks possession. Bottoms. 14 first quarter points. New York had the lead by 4. Off the miss from DeLon Wright, Karl-Anthony Towns, who is also excellent in this, is there for the putback. The lead is 5. You've seen this one a bunch now. Leg showed you it a couple times. Towns, 3 the hard way, the third Knicks player, I should say, since '98 to have at least 15 and 10 and a half. He had 17 and 10 at the break. The lead is double digits. Into the third. Brunson, get off me. That's 3 the hard way, actually the real hard way. Missed the free throw. The lead's still 13. How about 3 more? That's cash. The lead grows to 16. Now Towns flailing down the lane as he does, and the lead is 18. Brunson again. Cookies, Steve? Cookies. First Nick with 10 30-point games in a single postseason. They're cruising into the fourth, but this Indiana team, you want to make sure you put them to bed. Brunson, Bridges, nice find, bounce to Hart. Not quite night-night, but getting close. The Nova Knicks doing their thing. Brunson goes for 32 and 5. They just were not going to let this Pacers team get close enough to think about it. And Towns, one more time, absorbs the contact from the smaller Mathurin. He had 24 and 13. And New York forces a Game 6. Indiana now 1-6 all-time with a chance to clinch the Eastern Conference Finals. They've lost a clinching opportunity in 5 different series, including tonight. Only win came in 2000.
Kat, you said this was going to be the biggest fight of your all's life. Back against the wall. How are you guys able to respond in such a big way tonight on your home court?
I thought we did a good job coming out with energy. The energy was great. The fans brought in, and I think that we just did a great job of being the first ones to throw a punch, and that's why we got this win tonight.
At the end of Game 1, you had a big lead, but it felt like you guys slowed down and tried to protect that lead. Tonight, that wasn't the case. What do you think about the way that you guys played with the lead tonight?
I thought we did a good job. We could do better, but all in all, at the end of the day, we got the W, so that's the most important thing.
Indiana is such a great shooting team. They play with great pace. How are you guys able to disrupt that and force so many turnovers on the defensive end?
I thought we did a great job. Like I said, pressure, energy. We did a great job of bringing the fight to them tonight early on, too. So it's kind of reminiscent of Game 1. I thought we did a better job with the lead, though.
You force a Game 6. You head back to Indianapolis. What is the challenge that presents?
Force a Game 7.
Best of luck.
That's the challenge.
Best of luck.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, rough night for me. I got to be better, setting the tone, getting downhill. I feel like I didn't do a great job of that. But I watched the film. There were some different things they did defensively. But for the most part, I think their base stuff was the same. They picked up the pressure a little bit more, tried to apply more as the game went on. But yeah, I got to be better, and I'll be better in Game 6. But I watched the film and learn from it like I always try to do, and be prepared for Game 6.
Starters in general, tonight, what did you feel like was going on for you guys, and how much do you feel like stems from that stuff you just said?
Yeah, you worded that in a nice way. Yeah, we weren't great as a group. I thought, we lost the margin battle today. I thought they did a better job in the margins. We turned the ball over too much, didn't rebound to our ability like we have shown this series. And when you do those two things against these guys in a game that comes down to so many possessions, it's tough. So we got to be better as a group. I think our pace has to be better, and that starts with me. I got to be better there. As a group, we've shown that we can have some success, this playoffs, and it was a rough showing for us tonight. So, we'll watch the film, see where we can get better, and be prepared for Game 6.
Too much for the Knicks and all that. So then they turn up the ball pressure tonight.
Yeah.
Did that surprise you at all that they actually kind of tried to play a little more like you guys play?
No. I mean we're up 3-1. Their season's on the line today, so I understand they're going to come out and play hard, increase the pressure, do whatever they got to do to win. And they did a great job of that. And, now it's on us to respond in Game 6. So I think when you get here at this point, there's no such thing as surprises. You got to be prepared for whatever is to come. So, they kudos to them. They played better than us today, and we got to be prepared for Game 6.
J.R. Smith.
Hey, tell J.R. Van Pelt said leave you alone, all right?
Now he'll just stay here and keep talking.
Okay, cool. The point I'm making is you've had a hell of a season, and obviously no one in New York wants it to end tonight. What kind of mentality did your group bring to the floor?
Yeah, I mean, we were desperate. Obviously, we knew it was win or be done, win or go home. So, we just gave it everything we had, and we just found a way.
I know I'm going to visit with Tim Legler in a bit, and as we're watching, he felt like there was intent. The head was down. You guys are bullying your way straight line to the bucket. How much of that was sort of looking at the tape and feeling like maybe that was something that would work for not just you but your whole squad? Was that something that was intentional?
I mean, we have the personnel to get in the paint and make plays, and so we know we can touch the paint, good things happen. So we just found a way to keep doing it and trusting each other and being aggressive for ourselves as well.
You all have been excellent on the road all year, in the postseason in particular. So you guys understand this mentality of what has to happen. So what has to happen? I know you're smiling as I'm asking you. Like, what do you imagine you're walking into this weekend?
Well, there's a lot of people trying to distract me, but
I understand.
I mean, I mean, we gotta be focused. Now we can't look ahead. Now we can't look too far. We just gotta be focused on that first quarter and then how we play, and then go on from there. I think we just gotta focus on the present.
How hard is it to focus right now? Because I'm picturing what you're looking at, and I'm imagining it's a who's who of media and past dignitaries in New York. What are you seeing but beyond the camera right now, Jalen?
I see a lot of former players, but they're all chilling right now. No one's really distracting me now, but it's a pretty cool sight to see when you see all the former guys come back and show a face, and it's really cool.
I was wondering about the building, like what kind of energy is it? Because there's nothing like that place when we get to May and then almost June. But I imagine it's got to be tense. This is a hell of a team you're playing. They beat you guys twice in that building. So, like, were they on edge early? Like, just kind of the energy that you felt in the building in terms of we're ready to go, or a little bit of uneasiness?
I don't know. I was just focusing on the court, but one thing's for sure. I mean, their energy stems from us. And if we're coming out playing as hard as we can, doing what we got to do. I mean, they're going to show the respect, and they're going to be loud for us. And so they were that tonight.
Well, listen, I can imagine that people are only going to bother you more. I'm sure you want to take this headset off and go get to your squad, your family, and all the rest. Thanks for taking a minute, Jalen. Good luck this weekend in Game 6, all right?
I appreciate it. Thanks, Scott.
Tim Legler in the building. Got the touchscreen that you're going to show us. That I kind of gave like a little bit of a preview with what you and I were going to talk about visiting with Jalen. Didn't realize that'd be the order of it. But as you're watching the intent and what New York is doing, I'm asking you, is that something that would have been a self-scout from the film where they're like, this is the approach we need to take?
Definitely. We're bigger. We're stronger, and this is to our advantage. Their tempo's their advantage. This is our advantage in the series. And I thought Jalen Brunson maybe didn't want to tip his hand.
Of course.
You can't tell me they
Scott,
didn't.
we did this because of that.
You can't tell me they discussed that in the film session because, look, Scott, that paint area, that blue area, makes up a relatively small part of your end of the floor offensively. They had 75 points in there tonight.
So what'd they do?
Between free throws and paint points. So here's where it is. It's just everybody making up their mind to win their one-on-ones. And they did it the entire game. And they did it as soon as they caught the basketball. Lets the possession play out the beginning. Going to swing the ball to the opposite side. Right here, you got Miles Turner on the bench. Karl-Anthony Towns knows if he can come up here and catch the ball, and I think Siakam just lets him have this too easily. I would have denied this. You got a good situation over here defensively with that matchup. Instead, Towns is able to flash up, catch the ball. He lets everybody clears out. He's patient. You see Siakam getting his hands in there, and he's trying to be, touchy with him at the point of attack. Karl-Anthony Towns too big and strong. He's going to swing through over the top and put his head down. The guy I want you to focus on, though, is Benedict Mathurin. right here. He's got an opportunity, and you got to make this play. You see Karl-Anthony Towns barreling towards you. He is not going to do anything other than run right through your chest. But he doesn't want to do it. And I felt this was the approach all night of the Knicks.
Olé.
I dare you to step in front of me. They didn't seem very often willing to do that. Now, here we go. Defensively, what I loved about them tonight, one, they started taking away a little bit more of this space. They were picking Haliburton up back here the other night. You see, so McBride makes him feel him just a little bit. They're going to run some action here, and they're going to try to get to this quick dribble handoff. This is something else they were not doing. Miles McBride fought over the top of that screen to make him pick the basketball up. Josh Hart hedges off. He's ready in case he did turn the corner, knowing that he's got this closeout. This is one of their best possessions of the night. Closeout comes, takes him off the three-point line. Obi Toppin is going to put it down. Remember what I said about Mathurin not willing to step in and get in the way? Watch Bridges. He's just going to stand here and wait. The reason is because he's guarding T.J. McConnell. He knows he's not really a three-point threat on his dribble handoff. So Bridges is going to provide the appropriate amount of help for Hart. Right here, beautiful. Execute this switch. He pushes him back to McConnell. So when McConnell comes off here, he has to veer out because of the job that Hart does to pick him up. Great switch executed right there. And then it ends with this. Get around one more time. McBride over the top. This time, though, you've got to get a weak side closeout and watch the effort by McBride. Runs all the way to the weak side. And you end up with, at the end of all that, this. A running one-hander by Shepherd with a hand up. You finish all great defensive possessions, securing the rebound. That was a whole lot of effort, a whole lot of being smarter about who you're playing against. Mm-hmm. Look, we gave Tyrese Haliburton all the love in the world the other night, and he deserved it. Yep. He was a non-factor in this game. Some of it his own doing, and he's going to see that on the film. A lot of it, the Knicks' approach offensively by forcing the Pacers to defend the paint the entire first 2.5, 3 quarters of the game. Taking the ball to the net all night, you're not going to be able to run.
When last we spoke, you were just kind of baffled about I'm saying it, not you, the lack of sort of IQ from this group, the lack of valuing the basketball. Yeah. But we saw a different Knick team, a Knick team that I think tapped into the energy in the building, played with intent and purpose. What most impressed you about their approach to the game this evening?
I thought you got a level of composed urgency top to bottom. And obviously, as I heard you in the highlight, SVP, Jalen Brunson sets the tone from that. But Karl-Anthony Towns also has a terrific game. Josh Hart gets back to more of a signature Josh Hart-style game with a double-double. And your guys off the bench, including Hart with this new reinvented starting lineup, but DeLon Wright, Landry Shamet continue to give you valuable minutes on defense. And you hold this Pacers high-powered offense under 100 points. That, to me, was very, very impressive. I thought this group played deliberate on both ends of the floor.
Look, Kenny the Jet Smith got a lot of run for the line about Tibbs wouldn't play 9 if it's a baseball game, but I think you're starting, I know, I'm just quoting the man. You're starting to see it seems people,
I get it.
People that are earning more trust from Tibbs. And I mean, look, it's no secret the man plays the guys he plays, but it seems more trust is being earned, and it seems that that's probably necessary. You agree?
I would agree. And I think role players, particularly guys that come off the bench, they have, to me, one of the harder jobs in the league, particularly in a New York Knicks uniform. You have such a limited amount of time to make a positive impact. You're not warm necessarily. You even sit on the bench cheering on your team, right? And so Landry Shamet, DeLon Wright, even Precious Achiuwa tonight, who played, I believe, 4 minutes in total, being able to come in with a level of professionalism to continue to earn trust from not just Tibbs, but the rest of this rotation. I said to you, I believe I said to you the other night, SVP, I think there's a fine line between adjustments and starting to get out of character. Well, now these adjustments, to me, are starting to become a part of the character of the Knicks in this series versus Indiana.
I'm interested in your perspective as someone given your talents and background as a player, the same way I am with Tim Legler. I'd ask you, what do you make of the relative absence of Ty Haliburton's impact in the game? After what we saw in Game 5, which is as high, Game 4, I beg your pardon, which is as high level as you can play, what did you make of this 2 for 7, 8-point night?
Well, I go back to something he said after Game 3 when he said 100 points is not us. Well, 90 points is certainly not them. And so
right?
The thing that I'm coming to is perhaps the Knicks being able to be deliberate, particularly defensively, and slow the pace in this one really took the wind out of his sails. I thought the Knicks did a really good job in the first half and in the last 2 minutes of the second quarter and the first 2 minutes of the third quarter of staying focused. Because typically in this series, those were areas in which the Pacers were able to close the gaps, find some energy. And so they took those stretches away from the Knicks, and he just couldn't get it going. But I will say this, and I said this locally here in New York, the Knicks need to be fully prepared for what will be considered a Tyrese Haliburton bounce-back game, energized by that crowd at Gamebridge and the opportunity to close out at home. I'm sure he'll put up a more aggressive line than what you saw tonight. 7 field goal attempts, that doesn't seem quite right for him.
Yeah, I mentioned to Tim, we've seen that throughout the playoffs from a number of what I would consider star players, whether it's a Jimmy Butler or an Ann Edwards or tonight it's Haliburton. I just want one final thought, given your proximity to this Knick team all year, understanding them as well as you do. Yeah, you know what you're walking into, but you also know if you lose, it's over.
Yeah.
What do you presume you'll see from New York in terms of effort and plan? What do you think you're going to see in Game 6?
Well, I still think there's room for them to improve the turnover battle. They gave up 20 points off turnovers again. Now, it doesn't hurt you tonight the way that it has the potential to hurt you in an energized Gamebridge Fieldhouse. So turnovers is one thing. I think they are playing with a sense of urgency now that you just cannot create. Right? Like, one team is literally facing the end of their season, and I think that has actually heightened their focus and their awareness. So I think they're going to have to go into Indiana, keyed in defensively. I actually think you have an opportunity to see more minutes from some of those guys on the bench that have proven to be a challenge defensively for the Pacers. And then it's got to be another high-efficiency performance from your leaders, SVP. Like, that's what it comes down to. They've got to shoot the ball well enough, even at their pace, to be able to keep up with this high-scoring offense of the Pacers.
I've said it forever, you can't fake desperation, and New York is still the only team in the game on Saturday that is facing elimination. So we'll see what fuels the road team and the home team as well. Monica, as always, your time appreciated. Be well until next time, okay?
Sounds good.
I'm on fire.